What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a crazy summer, to say the least. I'm back, born free, the homies trip, Sturgis. I've been home now for about a week and trying to get life back in order and refocused on the FXR Tour Build. We have 60 days until we need to be in Durango, Colorado on this bike. So needless to say, I don't have a lot of time. At any rate, let's get over to Cory's house and let's see what we got left, and let's see where we're gonna go from here. What I want to do today on this video with you guys is basically go over all the things that Cory did, the restoration of some of the parts of the frame that were, as he liked to put it, methed up for the most part.
Big time.
And how we've incorporated so many different elements from the more modern chopper that I'm looking for, but then carrying some vintage chopper or traditional chopper values, bringing all this stuff together to make what we have here and give me one of the most amazing foundations for me to do what I shine at, which is color and finish on this thing. I can't be more stoked. It's got the parts that I've always wanted, the stance I've always wanted, and some of it I didn't even realize I wanted. I don't know. Let's just
do it.
start. There it is.
Yeah, this is the overall stance, right? And the most important thing that we spent a great deal of time absolutely obsessing over minor details is where in the heck this neck was gonna go.
Yeah.
Because once this neck is in place, then obviously it was just a matter of connecting the dots with what remained. And I think what we found here is absolute perfect flow, perfect proportions. This still screams chopper, yet still FXR, and everything flows in such a way that it looks organic, it doesn't look forced. I could not be more pleased with how this frame turned out, and I am so stoked. Yeah, I mean, we went like 4.5 inches up, I think, if I recall correctly. And what that allowed us to do was establish this beautiful plane, which is like a key component of choppers, right? To have the backbone in a nice continuous line.
Yeah.
In this case, it follows directly in line with this stuff here, which kind of takes you back down towards the rear axle as well. I chopped and slugged from up here, so we didn't have to mess with anything back here as far as these tubes are concerned. We chopped here and found the most organic way to tie in these new tubes into the new backbone and then gusset in an interesting and kind of funky way that I had never seen done before. So, you know, this area back here on the frame needed a lot of attention. This, if you remember in the first video, this was plated over in a horrible fashion. You can't see it under here, under these struts, but all this has been replaced with new bungs because it was really messed up. So yeah, all this has been restored to factory. We got these beautiful struts from Oliver at Cut Rate, which I think flow awesome with the fender. This was totally 100% your idea, and I think it's absolute perfection. This fender is from Fat Bob, so an M8 Fat Bob. This fender was made for obviously a much fatter tire. All I had to do was section it and narrow it here. And I think the side profile is absolutely hitting. I mean, even the rear. Well, look, I mean, let's face it, most FXR choppers retain the stock fender, and that's great for them, but we didn't want stock. We wanted this thing to still be a chopper, and this absolutely looks perfect.
What ended up happening was I had picked up an FXR a couple years ago that had a ducktail fender on it. Seeing this fender on the bike, the more I came to like it. The shape of it, it had flow off the back of the bike. It just looked fast. It looked cool. It looked different. When I take this to a bike night, I'm not gonna run into 5 other ones like my Bagger or even my ST right now. This tank's been hanging in my garage, then it hung in my shop. We started getting closer to this part where we needed to figure out which tank we were gonna go with. I mentioned before, Frank had gifted me a villain tank, Jesse James West Coast Choppers villain tank that I absolutely love the shape, but the length slowly pushed me away from that idea. Then this right here, Frisco mounting, a King Sporty tank will give me the gas I need to do the traveling that I plan to do. It's bulky enough to where it doesn't look like out of place. You know, that's one of the other things.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
yeah.
You can get like a super tiny Sportster, tank on here, and it'll look cool to certain eyes. But I think that aesthetically, I wanted a larger tank to fit the bulkiness of the twin cam and some of the other aspects of this bike. It is still kind of a muscle bike, if you will.
Yeah.
So
agreed. So yeah, we Friscoed it, right? I mean, you said it was very important to you to have this kind of look, to have the bottom of the tank flush with the bottom of the backbone. And that's just a classic Sportster look. So, this area right here kind of created an interesting challenge, right? So the tunnel got kind of funky, but I think this is so cool. This is so unique. I hadn't seen this kind of stuff done before, but it's all 16 gauge, new steel. The whole thing is rubber mounted, as you were just showing. This is gonna be, it's not just form, it's function. You're gonna ride this thing across the country, right? Lord willing. You got a great capacity, but it's not so bulbous, but not so tiny like some kind of chopper wassail tank. It's perfect. Yeah, I think it works well. Stock style front motor mount. The only difference is a twin cam. If you don't space this out accordingly, a twin cam drivetrain is going to dip down in the front, and we weren't having that. We wanted this drivetrain to be completely level, so we welded some spacer blocks, gusseted the bottom, removed these boss mounts, right, that are normally on the frame, where forward controls or a crash bar would normally mount. That's all gone. Welded in a new cross member here that's directly centered between the motor and trans. We're still able to keep this cross member. For whatever reason, most of these get chopped out because they say it won't fit, but it absolutely fits, and we can still remove the oil pan here. So, again, man, I'm so stoked on this build. Yeah, I cannot wait to see it in roller.
Twin cam, very, very minimal wiring system on this bike. It's not gonna really have much going on, but that's gonna be great for me on the road, because if something does go wrong, it'll be easy to find out what's going on and get it taken care of.
Easy to troubleshoot.
Carbureted, I've always liked it. I like the way it sounds and feels. We got a nice little clean, just the flow into this right here.
I personally feel like this frame was 38 years old.
Yeah, 85.
I think it's ready for another 4 decades of good times.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see it going down the road.
The only way I can really describe this is I want this bike, when you walk up to it, to invoke an emotion in somebody when they see it. Whether it's I just want to ride that, or I want to take a picture of it, or I want to stare at it. I want it to captivate somebody. With what Cory's already created with all the fabrication work and the stance that he's basically given me here. Now I just got to do my part to extenuate what he's done, add the icing on the cake for the most part. We still have a ton of things to do on this bike. The fabrication that's left is pretty minuscule compared to what's already been done. It's more of just welding on a kickstand block. We're gonna probably get with Matt, Hazmat Designs, and we're gonna make some kind of custom plate. He's on a bead roll it, put something kind of cute in there for me. Then I gotta make a seat pan, then I gotta paint his bike.
Oh, Jesus.
And then hopefully all the stuff on mine's dialed and I can start painting mine in October. Anyway, you guys check out Cory. You see what he's just done for me. Unfortunately, in our group chat, I'm probably gonna have to give him my knife for him building this bike for me. It'll be like both ours, but I'll keep it in my house, okay? So. Thank you guys for watching along. We're gonna have some more stuff happening in my shop finally. Once again, Cory Main Drive Cycle, one of the best out there. So check them out. And we gotta load this thing in my car now and try to get it home.